Scream 2022 is the sequel that divided fans. There are so many different opinions, some love it and some hate it. After watching it more than once, I think I do both. In this video I will draw the line between the things I liked and things I didn't, and they are pretty simple, like Sidney Prescott. Even in the Scream movie with the least screen time, Sidney showed us how much she has grown between every sequel. Like in its predecessor, in this movie Sidney means business. While she didn't feel like getting involved yet another time in a mess that seems never-ending, after a death of a dear old friend, Sidney returned to set things straight. Even though one day there will probably be a Scream movie without Sidney, I don't think we are ready for it yet. Nev said that she won't accept reprising her role in future projects until she reads the script. There are also some rumors saying that she refuses to reprise the role if Sidney dies, which shows that she cares about this franchise and her character. In every Scream, Sidney will forever be that light at the end of the tunnel.
I'll survive. I always do.
While Sidney is a great character, together with Gale and Dewey, making them a great kick-ass team, there was a slight problem with the treatment of legacy characters and the marketing behind the movie. Basically, the trailer lied. It wouldn't be the first time, but in this case, it's something we dearly care about. The trailer showed what was obviously the opening scene, showing Dewey contacting Sidney, followed by the legacy characters being involved and everything leading to the original killers, while introducing some new characters. That's not what happened though. The killers and the motive, once revealed, felt very distant and unrelated to legacy characters. Dewey was the first to appear, and then he contacted Sidney more than 30 minutes into the movie. They knew that the majority of people who will be the first in line to see this movie will be fans who have been following the franchise for a very long time. A lot of people around the world, myself included, consider this franchise their favorite, so why make us watch new characters we don't care about and postpone the original cast appearance for so long? This is also the first movie where Gale didn't do anything worth mentioning, which was sad considering everything she has done in previous movies, no matter if those actions were moral or not. Speaking of the promotion and opening scene, this for me was one of the best opening scenes. After watching the movie, I confirmed something I thought after watching the first trailer. Most Scream openings were great and innovative, and this one didn't disappoint either. It felt like watching the original opening modernized in a good way. After a small casual talk on the phone with Tara, Ghostface started asking the famous horror movie trivia before starting the attack. The length of the scene was the right amount of time to get to know Tara, but it also showed us a moral lesson not to trust our technology as much as we do. After the entertaining opening scene, what followed was something I was not impressed by: the introduction of Samantha Carpenter, or her role as the new Sidney. Sam could just never. This is not an attempt to diss the actress or her acting skills, but her role as Sam was not something I was impressed by, and from what I've read, a lot of fans agree. We already know there is a sixth movie on the way. She is connected to one of the legacy killers and had a major role in this one, so there might be some room for her to present herself in another way, because we all know even Sidney was not the same in the early beginnings. To be completely honest, just from the fifth movie, I honestly don't see that change happening with Sam. Every legacy character in Scream made us care about them as characters by the end of the first movie. Ever since I heard the line, "I know your little secret," Ghostface says to Sam, I had a strong feeling that she will be the daughter of one of the past characters, and I was pretty sure it would be Billy. At the same time, I really didn't want that to happen, but it did. This gave Sam somewhat of a major role because of what Billy started, and everything goes back to him and Stu one way or another. Sam might not be the best introduced new character, but Tara Carpenter is. I was and still am torn on how they changed what it felt like the rule of Scream opening scenes, that the star of the opening is killed. While I don't like that they felt cocky enough to change it, I am happy we got to see Tara more. Tara's character is definitely versatile. There was a lot they could have done with her writing-wise, since she already became a fan favorite. That also means that if they decided to bring her back in future projects, we can enjoy her character in another light. I'm not sure if it was the writing or Jenna Ortega that attracted us to this character, probably a combination of both. Tara was attacked many times during the movie, each time being very close to dying. The second time she was saved with the help of Dewey, who this time unfortunately died. We know no one lives forever, especially not in a horror franchise, so it is not the fact that he died that fans hated, it's more how Dewey died. After 4 movies, we saw the death of one of the 3 major characters in Scream. This was not a minor thing to do, considering he came head-on with Ghostface more times than we can count. Any of those times could have been his last, even though we got used to him and the two girls surviving every movie. We lived with Dewey in the movie world for more than 20 years, so fans are allowed to be disappointed, and this time I agree it's with a good reason. Scream killers usually come in a duo, but this time we got the information which one of the two killed whom, and so we learned that it was Amber who killed Dewey. Was it really a good choice to have such an important character killed off by one of the worst killer choices? Also, was someone so petite and fragile like a teenage girl really that strong to kill a grown man, ex-cop and sheriff who definitely knew how to defend himself and has survived multiple attacks by much stronger killers? The only way to justify this killing is because she took him by surprise and stabbed him, but Sidney and Gale were also stabbed and continued to fight, while Dewey looked like he lacked strength. I think I speak for most fans when I say Dewey deserved better, and he will surely be missed in future projects. In this movie we know who killed whom, but also the two killers, Amber and Richie, have distinct killing methods. Amber is more aggressive and did most of the heavy lifting. She also uses two hands and in Dewey's case even two knives, unlike Richie who has a slower technique and was not an angry attacker as Amber. However, this was not enough to make a creative and impressive choice of killers. This installment, like most others, had two killers, and unfortunately both of them felt unsatisfying with disappointing motives. While Richie had more screen time before the reveal, Amber had a few scenes where she could have shined and made us remember her. But that's what she didn't do. When she revealed herself as one of the killers, you had to think twice about her previous involvement in the movie as a character. While I enjoyed all the previous references to Stab, the movie within the movie, it feels like that story needs to lay off a bit. It was very overused in Scream 2022, and it was revealed to be one of the main motives of the killers, which was disappointing just like the choice of killers. The motive felt like it was used before, but in a better way. I think Gale said it best: let them disappear in anonymity. While the third act was not so impressive, the movie up to that point was entertaining, and it surely had its high in action. It was fun to see the characters in different places during the entire movie, no matter if it was just for a gathering or a place where an attack happened, the action was on point. Ghostface was definitely brutal this time around and as usual showed no mercy. Despite good action, one has to wonder, was this movie trying too hard? Even though Scream fans probably loved all the references to previous movies, more specifically the first one, was there a bit too much referencing? Unlike Halloween 2018, Scream 2022 doesn't erase the sequels after the original, but it still mentions its first installment all the time, even having the same house for the third act. While that's a nice way to return to some past locations and relive memories, this kind of prevented the movie from being creative on its own. Like its predecessors, Scream 2022 called out horror movies and made fun of them, this time also touching on the subject of the lack of creativity in Hollywood. But one has to wonder, was this movie doing those exact things it criticized? Thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos like this and be a part of the channel that covers mostly horror themes, make sure to subscribe.